Hello, morning. I was trying to cleverly recreate again, add more production value to the video by recreating one of those YouTube videos where they turn it on and then they drift into shot. Never gonna get there. Right, how is everybody? This is Friday. Hello. If you haven't seen one of these videos before, I keep realising I just jump into stuff and talk about things like you all have watched all the videos and know exactly what's going on. And you can clearly see that I don't know what's going on. Let's get me a pen. So if you never watched one of these videos before, hello, welcome. My name is Alan and I run a record shop in Waterloo, north of Liverpool in the United Kingdom. It's a lot of information. And it's a cool record shop. It's got some good records. It's got some rubbish records. It's got some well-priced records. It's got some expensive records, probably overpriced. You know, what are you going to do, right? Put your finger in the air, test the market conditions, see what's going to bite. Anyway, here's a shop. Give you a little tour. Come in, up above the bookshop. Obviously, you know, I open that for some customers. Some, you know, I don't open it a bit. You'll know how much I like it depending on how much I open the barrier. If it's a little bit and you've got to get down. Yeah, anyway. You can see I also try to be funny. So we've got a cool jukebox over there. That all works. That's cool. Got some good records on the wall. Cool poster of the specials. Genuine Atari going there. Me. Shrine to the Quo, because who doesn't have a shrine to the Quo? Loads of records on the floor, like any good record shop, that all need pricing up and just appearing in bags and in boxes and all that stuff. Something's ping, see? Get that? Yeah, anyway. You know, all that sort of good stuff. Records over there. Records. And in that corner there, we put bands on the last... Sorry, jumping around. Last Saturday of the month. Itching my nose. And we've had loads on. Been up here for about 18 months. And there's all the bands. Not all of them, actually. But there's some of the bands that we've had on. Just had one last week. Susie Lewis played. Hello, Susie. Thank you for playing. And, you know, teas and coffees. Not for you. No, but you can have a coffee. A couple of quid. Got into your nose. Soz. Hi-fi, we sell separates. Can't repair them. Depends about availability of our repair person. But I do know a couple of people who do it. So if you need that sorting, come and ask us. Anyway, yeah. Back at the hi-fi. So I keep saying to everybody, it's my midlife crisis in action. So, you know, come and enjoy it while it's here. I'm not going anywhere, I'm just saying, you know, who knows what's around the corner. So, we have a little ding. It's a ding in the day. What's happening? Oh yeah, R.I.P. Bernie Marsden. If you don't know Bernie Marsden, he's a guitarist of Whitesnake, or was in the 70s. But he's also well known in guitaring communities. Very good guitarist and owns some pretty spectacular guitars. I noticed some of his stuff was being sold a couple of months ago, some amazing guitars. But he's known for having a 1959 Les Paul Burst. If you know about guitars, you know what that is. If you don't know about guitars, it's probably not worth looking up. It's just loads of middle-aged men getting really excited about vintage guitars. Mostly men, right? You know where it comes from. I'm one of those people excited about vintage hi-fi and vintage guitars. Anyway, R.I.P. him. R.I.P. to Jack. What's his name? Spinetti? Sorry, the dude from Dire Straits used to play without any shoes on. He died. R.I.P. to him. R.I.P. to all the other people who've lived life in the fast lane and are now not living life in the fast lane. Okay, let's get on with it. So, if you're wondering and you haven't seen one of these videos before, it is this well organised. I think they're getting worse. You know, you'd have to put that, not just my rattling on, but I just think the general production value is getting worse. I've got a new phone. I'm just filming this on a phone, and I thought that would get better, but I think it's got worse. So it's good, isn't it? You expect things to cumulatively improve, don't you, as you do things and practice them, become a bit better. But I think it's not me. I think what's happening, my pacemaker going off. I think what's happening is the cumulative getting worse and worse. It's quite an achievement. Right, I've got loads. What have I got? Oh yeah, gigs. Put gigs on in the shop. We had one last week, and we've got one at the end of September. September the 30th. And that is Samia O'Grady. I think she's playing the 30th. I'll double check. Local Liverpool artist playing a gig, playing a in-store in the shop. 4 o'clock, that will be. So come along to that. That's it, really. Just continue to get loads of stock in. People come in the shop downstairs. I don't know if they're going to disturb me. So let's get going at 6 minutes. We've got some... I've got a load of rubbish, really. But I'll show you some of that. Got some interesting stuff. And got loads of 7s. And consistently getting more stuff in. So let's go flick through. Morning. 6 o'clock. Welcome to the flick through. 6 minutes. I was going to say, got my hoodie on because it was a bit... It's the 1st of September, so I thought it was a little bit of a chill in the air. And now I've put my hoodie on, I'm too hot. But I'm not going to take my hoodie off because what'll happen is my glasses will come off, they'll get caught in my hoodie, I'll get all discombobulated. That's a good word, let's get on with it. That's my word of the day, discombobulated. Okay, loads of singles. So I've separated out some of the more expensive singles. Well, say more expensive, but you know, rarer singles. Let's pick an example out and embarrass myself because it's not rare. Suicidal tendencies. That alarm is an alarm of approval. Yeah? Somebody likes to escape from... Septic Death. Metal. Got to say the Queen, Pistols. Some more interesting. Sister Mercy. Anyway, you get the idea. And that's the rare singles in there, right? So, anyway, load of 7s. What have I got? Like The Who, this picture sleeves, Labby Sifri, I won't go through more. Rolling Stones, lots of Police. So Lonely. Stones, I've seen that. Bit of Marillion. You know, interesting 7s, picture sleeves. They go out over there with the normal 7s. I think my watch is about to tell me something. Off to a great start. I think you've got out of bed and got dressed. Off to a great start. Style Council, Kate Bush, Ronettes, stuff like that. Culture Club. Okay, so standard Nick Lowe, Adam and some. I've got loads of. If you've been watching these videos, you saw I've got a load of Adam and the Ants and Gary Newman in. So there's still loads of that. So I'm kind of getting through that. So Adam and the Ants, 7s, and this Queen bow wrap in the original EMI sleeve, which is obviously the less rarer one. Okay, what else? Load. Oh God, is that an approval for EMI company sleeves? I don't know. Fit me, aren't they? 7s. Oh, let's just do these. Clash. More Police. Prefab Sprout. So I've got loads of Prefab Sprout. I'll go through them in a bit. Prefab Sprout. Malcolm McLaren. Yeah, you get the idea. What's this one? David Sylvian. Brazillos. Total Pops. I'm singing that now. That's a great tune. Planet Earth. Duran Duran. Thought about putting that in the jukebox. My Own Way. Don't know what this is. Some sort of indie rock. And some sort of new wave. Anyway, come down. They're all going out. God, there's more of them. It's 27s, isn't it? Because quite a lot of us just don't bother collecting it. Wouldn't bother with 7s. But there's quite a few people who come in the shop who just are after 7s. Hello to you, weirdos. I've got to work on this customer experience, haven't I? Alright. Aged Chant, what's this? I don't know, alt rock, stuff like that. Equals. Pet Shop Boys. Georgie Lad. Bangladesh. More Adam and the Ants. Like standard Lennon. Got Me Mindset on You. Good tune. Did he not? Did he not get? Was there not a thing about that as well? Did he not get sued about that? That was taken from something. It's cover. No, I'm wrong. That's a cover version, isn't it? Got my mind set on you. I'm sure that's a cover version. It's My Sweet Lord. Magical Mystery, Tragical History Tour. That. Right. So, why don't we put 7s, and then we'll put flick through 7s, flick through. I mean, I still call, when you refer about records and albums, I still call them LPs, don't you? I mean, that's what they call them. I'm not sure many of the young'uns, as in people under 30, know what maybe an LP is. That bit saying what an LP is. Right, let's get to welcome to the LP bit. Don't hold your breath. There's a load of £5 stuff here, which is just cheap and pretty rubbish. Okay, I'll go through that. Can you see it? Uh-oh. Got a bit of wobble going on. So it's stuff like Good, Bad and the Ugly, Fistful of Dollars. I'm not going to go through it all. There's a bit of jazz, a bit of like Standard Monkeys collection stuff. The stuff that I thought, I can't put that in a £2 bin because it's too good for that. So I put it in a £4 bin. Quite frankly, I only got one £4 bin and it overfloweth. So I had some work experience guys in last week. So I just said, right, just take these and then price them up. Stick a £5 on them, we'll stick them out. So that's what I mean. Mamas and Papas. So it's all stuff like that. Chuck Berry, George Benson, Shakin' Stevens. Is he from like Lincoln? Shaky. Stuff like that. Anyway, Drifters, Diana Ross, Hot Chocolate, Air Supply, Buddy Holly, Ella Fitzgerald. There's some interesting stuff. More Drifters. There's a lot of Drifters albums out there. There's a lot. Righteous Brothers, Greatest Hits. Some soundtracks. Big Country, West Side Story, 3 Degrees, maybe a Neutron Bomb, Massive Big Frank compilation, Graham Parker albums, Holly's Greatest Hits Volume 2, Jane Fonda's Workout record. There's actually, Can You Feel It, the Jacksons? Can You Feel It, the Jacksons again? Bridge Over Troubled Water? What? Can You Feel It by the Jacksons is on here 3 times? 4 times? Okay, so it tells you which bit you're doing it for. Okay, didn't think we were going to go down this rabbit hole. Can You Feel It, the Jacksons Warm Up, right? Can You Feel It, the Jacksons Buttocks? Not my words, the words of Jane Fonda's Workout. Obviously I'm going to have to play that. If she's shouting buttocks over it. Some sort of Rudy stereo. Oh, this is like when they released records to test your stereo equipment. And of course, you have to make it appeal to 1970s dads by sticking a couple of naked women on it. Dionne Warwick, the collection. Glenn Campbell. Let's get past the rubbish stuff. Beach Boys, more Glenn Campbell. George Benson. Oh, someone was asking about George Benson. No, that's not it. More Holly's Greatest Hits, Hoagie Carmichael. God, they priced up a lot. They did well. Gladys Knight and the Pips. Right. Okay, so semi-decent stuff. Loads of Style Council. Can you see? So predominantly what we've got is we're always pricing stuff up. There's always thousands of. I literally need thousands of records to get through. But sometimes we get collections in like Gary Newman, and the one we got a couple of weeks ago that we got through now is Style Council and Prefab Sprout. Okay, so loads of stylies, a bit more Jam and Paul Weller, but predominantly Style Council. So 12s, I think, 12 albums, and they're all pretty affordable. I mean, these are 12s, I think. All in good condition. Completely different band, weren't they? Everybody's like, oh, bring back the Jam. The Style Council was just a completely different thing. Like the Style Council, great. I don't agree with Tears for Fears, if you know that reference. Cool album cover as well, right? Although, I definitely don't, you know, I think you've got to wear socks, even with loafers. Took my son to buy some school shoes, and he had these kind of, I don't know what they're called, those moddy loafer type things. They had them in the shoe shop. I might get them. They had them or kind of Run DMC Adidas trainers, and he wouldn't. He ignored me. He ignored me. More styles. What's this? Soul Deep Council Collective. Style Council. Our favourite shop. So I think we've got all the albums. Style Council, Home and Abroad, Cost of Loving. Right, so that's the Style Council, Prefab Sprout. So we've got some prefabs, and then I think we've got a couple of prefabs in the collectibles. So, Prefab Sprout, 12-inch. Prefab Sprout, Farron Young Trucking. A Farron Young Trucking mix of whatever this is. Trucking. Yeah. It's a slightly different version than on the classic LP. Steve McQueen. Prefab Sprout, When Love Breaks Down. Prefab Sprout, King of Rock and Roll, 4-track 12-inch. There's more prefabs in a minute. There's some bit more expensive collectible ones, so they're in the collectible section. But how do you get a link from Prefab Sprout to David Lee Roth? You know when you see them struggling on the telly and they're trying to do a link from, like, I don't know, something really serious, like a road traffic accident, into like something stupid like funny shaped hot air balloons or something, and they have to try and work out how to do a link to it. That's a bit I love watching sort of people struggle. That's not fair. I do it on a daily basis. There's a thing to you. Don't worry about your struggles. Just own it and sail on through with a load of confidence. My son said something the other day, and he said it with such confidence, but it was completely wrong. But he said it with such confidence, and he threw a couple of numbers in, a couple of stats that you had to believe him. I can't remember what it was about now. Probably something about money that he was due in pocket money, but it was boom, and I was quite proud of him because I thought, yeah, just bullshit your way through. Say it with confidence, throw a couple of numbers in, get out of there quick. That's what you want to do. Yeah. Life advice. David Lee Roth, Eat 'em and Smile. By Jovi, New Jersey. Slippery When Wet. Deceptive Bends. Some good stuff in it, eh? I didn't say it was a proper record shop. You know, there's plenty of them about. There's plenty of them with red Scar 7s and, you know, Japanese techno stuff. Record. Go to them record shops, seriously, because they're really good. I'm arsing about. Still got to make a living out of it, so buy something. Alice Cooper, Constrictor, Striper, To Hell with the Devil, Christian Rock. We've had this on in the shop. Look at them dudes. Wow. That reminds me of that episode of Only Fools and Horses. They paint the restaurant, Chinese restaurant, with the fluorescent paint from the railways. Do you think Striper in their spare time worked on the railways? And they've just come like straight from work to record some like devil-crushing Christian rock. You know, I'm not going to be one of those people who puts a video on YouTube and goes, put your answer in the comments below, because I don't care. You can do what you like. I would just ruminate on it. I'm going to, in my little world, think that that's what they do. Right? And plus, this bloke keeps his hair like that because he's using that to clean the tunnels. His job is to go through the smaller tunnels for the construction workers and clean them through, but like a chimney sweep. Right? So I think that's his job. Right? And you know, he's too good looking. So he obviously like does nothing, sits on the back with his feet up. And then these two dudes have got to be the drum and the bass player. They're the one doing all the work. Just like a normal band. You know what I mean? Just like a normal band. So have a ding out for the drummers and bass players, yeah? You know it. Anyway, that's Striper. U2 October. Jeff Wayne, War of the World. if you brought up in the 1970s, Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds is just like absolutely, fundamentally, a massive big part, terrifying. Your uncle will play it. Thank you, Uncle Eric, for playing that. And you'd just be like, that's one of the things that got me into music, because I was like, what? I was like, what is this? What is this? This is completely insane. And it's still brilliant. It's still amazing. I've got it on mini disc, believe it or not. Right, let's go to collectibles. Oh, we've got about 20 minutes. I've got to hurry up, I need a wee. So, but I've got to do it on the minute, because if I go to collectibles and it's like 20 and 43 seconds, can't be bothered to write that in the thing. You know what I mean? So, you can see how much attention to detail is given in this in these videos. You know, do I care? Yeah, I really care. I really care. Right, anyway, collectibles. Hello, welcome to collectibles. 21 minutes. What's that for me lunch? Cheese sandwich. Oh, Greg's is open. Not that you should go to Greg's. I highly recommend you go to Pullman Jack's, but it's all calmed down outside. Right, anyway, so some rare stuff. Some more interesting stylies. So there's that one. This is not particularly rare, but it's in really nice condition. It's just cafe blue. Some more interesting prefab sprout stuff. I don't know why this. It's not super rare, but it's a bit more interesting. Early years EP. I'll put that in the collectibles. Lions in My Garden. Right. Crimson Red. That is apparently a collectible. This is no doubt a later prefab sprout album that maybe, let's say, people weren't as excited about as Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen, not really collectible. It's just that when you get it in, it just goes out the door. I don't expect this to be around by the end of the weekend. And if any of you were looking at doing, I put a guess the album out on Instagram yesterday. Well, it's that corner. So it's this album, Prefab Sprout. Some good guesses on that. So that's that. Other Prefab Sprout, this is signed. I've showed you this last week, but I thought I might have done Prefab Sprout, so that's signed by 3 of them. Okay, this is interesting. Best of Van Morrison, right? You wouldn't think it's a collectible album, and maybe, but you know, look, simple economics and simple supply and demand drives the market, doesn't it? Plus, you throw in some extras such as condition, availability, all that sort of stuff, which ultimately drives supply and demand, GCSE economics. But anyway, the market, what I'm trying to say is you wouldn't think that the market would force the price up on this, but it has. And I wonder whether there's a couple of things. There's a couple of other albums that the market is driven up. Can we start again? There's a couple of other albums which are just best ofs, which you wouldn't think would be more expensive. And I'm talking original presses here, but they are. So a good example is OMD best of. There was a Hall & Oates best of I had in that the market, and we're talking about prices that have sold for, not what prices what people are trying to get for them at the moment, because, you know, I've got records that I've put on where I'm trying to get something for it, and it's not realistic. But you can set the market price on looking at the analytics of what is sold, right? Okay, like anything. So, anyway, these albums are interesting because you would think that they would be relatively expensive, and they're not. And I wonder whether it's because, first off, I think there's probably no other best-ofs on vinyl for these artists. OMD is another one. Have I said OMD? Yeah, I think I've said OMD. That's one I always refer back to as a good example. There's a Pet Shop Boys one as well, retrospective or something, that the prices are relatively high on. So, good example. What's the other one? Duran Duran. That one, Decade. But the Duran Duran one I looked at, and of course it hasn't been repressed. I don't think there's any other best-ofs on vinyl. But also that was being remastered, and when you put it on, it sounds really full and really does sound good. I don't know whether that's the same for these. But this is pretty dull now, isn't it? I need time to move on. But anyway, some best-ofs are quite expensive. Probably because they just haven't been repressed. And all those other bits I said. I'm sorry, I'm boring. If you've got an opinion on it, keep it to yourself. The Cure, 17 seconds. New Order, which I've just put Cheery Joy Division. De La Soul, 3 Feet High and Rising, original press on that. Some of these I've had in the shop for a bit. Some are new, some I've sold and got new copies of. Like this, Fishbone, Truth and Soul. Just one of the greatest albums ever made. If you've never heard Fishbone, check them out. Check them out. Check out Truth and Soul. Check out Ma and Pa or Freddy's Dead. Boning in the Boneyard. Just a tremendous band. All super amazingly talented. Stuffies, another copy of Never. Never Loved Elvis. And I've got my Never Loved Elvis promo thing over there. They got when I was a kid working in a record shop. Showed a Knife. Did I show you this last week? Showed a Knife. Supported Nirvana, didn't they? Anyway, Showed a Knife. Breeders. Not an original repress. I think I might show you some of these. Carter. Unstoppable Sex Machine. Mother's Milk. Another copy of Fox Base Alpha. Copy of Iggy. Lust for Life. Rage. Repress. Some Cream albums. I've had these in for a bit, but I thought I'd dig them out just to vary up a bit. So we got two first presses, one A1 B1, which is in very good condition, and one A2 B1, which is in very good plus condition. So knock yourself out with them. That A2 B1 sounds really good. There's just a lightest bit of crackle, hardly played. On Blue Reaction label, of course. Cream does Rayleigh Gears. It's a great example of how many variations there are of these albums. Laminated front, laminated back, and the actual matrix number is down a whole rabbit hole. So this is a 67 matte back. Boring, innit? This is a great soundtrack. I've had this for a while, but the soundtrack to Candy's got the birds and Steppenwolf on it. It's absolutely great. Is it Magic Carpet Ride has got on it? Yeah, Magic Carpet Ride, Steppenwolf. Not just Born to Be Wild, but Magic Carpet Ride. Dropout Boogie, The Captain. 1970 stereo, and Live to Experience. Texas Jerusalem Crossroads. If you've never heard that album, you haven't lived. That is just like, it just takes you to a particular, it evokes, it's evocative. Yeah. There you go. Right, let's cut it short because I just go on too much. So I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have enjoyed that, please consider buying some records. Don't like and subscribe. It's pointless. It's pointless. Just, buy a record. From me, ideally. But from an independent record store dealer person who would no doubt be grateful for your patronage. Alright, come the gig, 30th of September. What else? I don't think that's it. I don't think there's anything else. Have a nice weekend, and I'll see you later. Oh, the Bluetooth thing worked, didn't it? Let's try, where have I put it? Let's try that. It's not going to work, because it never works when I'm trying to turn it off. Look, I'm pressing it now.